In the northwest of the United States, near the border to Canada, strange creatures emerge from the deep sea. Giant Pacific octopuses. With 9 brains and 8 arms spanning up to an incredible 30 feet. They are unusually intelligent, but little is known about them, even today. Marine biologist Florian Groner explores these secretive aliens and finds out octopuses have unique personalities. And, like us, they are incredibly curious. Where the stormy waters of the Pacific Ocean meet the continental Pacific Northwest, nutrient-rich water flows from the depths of the ocean along jagged mountain ranges far into the fjords of the Salish Sea. Deep-sea inhabitants can even be found near the metropolis of Seattle. 5-meter-long, blunt-nose, 6-gill sharks. And primeval chimeras, or ratfish, live an unusually shallow depth here, depths where humans are still able to dive. And sometimes encounter a giant Pacific octopus. Some individuals reach up to 600 pounds in weight. They are the largest octopus on the planet. Whidbey Island lies at the entrance to a long fjord system called Puget Sound. Here, the German marine biologist and wildlife filmmaker Florian Groner is on a special mission. Teaming up with scientists from Seattle, he intends to find out how intelligent these giant octopuses really are. To do this, they are planning to catch a juvenile octopus. First, they meet a Pacific red octopus, a much smaller close relative of their actual target. The seafloor here is littered with old bottles, an old abandoned dump site. Overgrown with barnacles, they provide ideal hiding places for young octopuses. Octopuses are soft-bodied and have no shell or internal bones. Instead, they rely on camouflage, agility, and intelligence to survive. Out here, the ocean is full of predators, and smaller octopuses out in the open are vulnerable. For lingcod, they are a delicacy. This young octopus is struggling for survival, putting up a fight to not be swallowed. Finally, the divers find their prize. Hidden in an old bottle, they discover a young female giant Pacific octopus. Florian's plan is to take the little giant to an aquarium to test her intelligence and learning capability. After a year, she will be released back into the ocean, much bigger and less likely to become prey.
Shoot. I think you're in there.
Like a genie out of a bottle, Her body slides into the transport container. Because octopuses are mollusks with no skeletons, they fit through the tiniest openings. After a short ride, the young giant Pacific octopus reaches its new home, the Port Townsend Marine Science Center, located right at the entrance to Puget Sound.
Hey, Ellie.
Hi, Florian.
Let's get Ellie.
Let's do this.
Florian Groner and aquarist Alexandra Redman already have a name for the little octopus, Eleonora, or Ellie for short.
Okay.
I'm really excited to see how Ellie will settle into her new environment and how we will connect. She's getting the biggest tank here at the Marine Science Center, too.
Oh, wow. She's getting real dark now. She likes her critter carrier.
So nice down there. You should go.
Eleonora's body is fist-sized. Her tentacles already span nearly 2 feet. She is around 2 years old.
She's just marvelous. She's incredibly beautiful. It's a different thing to see her and know that I'm going to be the one who's working with her and gets to spend time with her over the next year. So it's like meeting somebody.
Ellie is still very shy, with everything so different here compared to the ocean.
Her eye is just ever so barely open right now. When I put it in there, kind of imagined an octopus that would be able to pick up the rocks and move the kelp around, and instead she's so small that she's just gonna cling on to the kelp leaves.
The little octopus must first get used to her surroundings. On their eastern side, the Olympic Mountains drop steeply into a long and deep side fjord called Hood Canal. It is a hot spot for giant Pacific octopuses. The sign warns of octopuses.
It does help to have a lot of diving experience when filming giant Pacific octopuses. They are immensely strong and can move objects more than 10 times their own weight.
Every time, Florian dives into a completely different world. But he knows what he needs to look out for.
Finding a giant Pacific octopus can sometimes be quite easy. You just look for fresh crab and clam shells in front of a big rock.
The octopus examines the diver from the security of its den. The big animals are shy, for a good reason. They are not alone down here. The next retreat is taken up by a group of wolf eels. With their powerful jaws, they crack open crabs, mussels, and sea urchins. They can get up to 6 feet long and compete with octopuses for their dens. Wolf eels regularly share a den and pair for life. Like any old couple, they certainly banter with each other. But when it's important, they stick together. One protects their castle, while the other heads out to hunt. hundreds of millions of years ago, ancestors of octopuses still sported shells, like snails and mussels. Octopuses and squid sacrificed this protection for greater freedom of movement and agility. This can be costly, especially when a group of stellar sea lions are around. The bulls can reach 10 feet in length and weigh up to a ton. Even the much smaller females can still tip the scales at 700 pounds. With stellar sea lions prodding every nook and cranny of the reef, the octopus quickly retreats into its den and starts to build a wall, blocking the entrance for further protection. But at first, the sea lions are busy investigating Florian. Even when they are just curious, these predators can get quite rough, pinching the diver or even tearing holes into his dry suit. While Florian enjoys the rough play, it is a very different ballgame for the giant Pacific octopus. Utilizing the suction cups on its arms, the octopus hauls in rocks to block its den. This deliberate action clearly distinguishes octopuses from their snail and mussel relatives. Intelligence is its key to survival. This nosy gang of stellar sea lions discover the octopus anyway. The octopus flees using the back door. By rapidly forcing water out of its muscular mantle cavity, disappearing into the depths by means of jet propulsion, and by obscuring the vision of its pursuers behind an inky cloud. Florian finds the octopus again, crawling on the sea floor, much deeper in the fjord, seriously injured. The sea lions must have bitten and torn off 3 of its 8 arms, rendering the octopus into a pentapus. But octopuses have another superpower in store. They can regrow their arms. Octopuses don't have it easy in a world full of predators. To survive, they must be smart and always on the lookout. Port Townsend, at the entrance to Puget Sound, used to be an important early American settlement and harbor. Founded in 1851, the town is old by Pacific Northwest standards, featuring vintage Victorian buildings. The Port Townsend Marine Science Center is open to the public and focuses on Salish Sea marine life and its conservation. After a week, Eleonora has already lost some of her shyness.
You think you're gonna sneak up on me? You can't sneak up on me.
Today, the little octopus is quite inquisitive. And Florian is also excited to see her again. Then, Ellie's pupil turns into a colorful slit. She is excited. And makes a grab for Alexandra's hand.
No glass in the way up here. Woo-hoo.
Somebody is very sticky. Somebody is a sticky octopus. My boys love me because of chocolate cake, and you love me for frozen herring pieces.
And then, Ellie's suction cups also explore Florian's hand. The highly flexible sensory organs are precise tools. In addition to lending octopus arms significant strength through suction power, they are also loaded with chemosensory cells, literally tasting the objects in their grasp. Suddenly, Ellie turns herself into a ball. Rubbing her suction cups against each other to remove spent and hardened cartilaginous discs that no longer grow with her. This is a fascinating ritual that the marine biologist has never witnessed in the wild. Today's meal is a popsicle, ice with herring, mussels, and shrimp. Ellie's cohabitant, a giant pink sea star, is also a fan. But Ellie doesn't like sharing. Her mouth is located at the center, under her body where the 8 arms meet. Beyond the small opening hides a powerful, sharp beak, or jaw, which cuts much like a parrot's beak and is the only hard part of the animal. As Ellie sifts through the popsicle, some edible pieces also reach her neighbor. But Pinky, the sea star, wants more. 5 legs meet 8 arms. 2 feet meet suction cups. Both Pinky and Ellie represent ancient animal groups that diverged several hundred million years ago. They could not be more different. The starfish, with its simple nervous system, has no chance against Ellie's 9 brains.
I know, you're trying to get away from Pinky there. I see what's happening. You want to move? You can come with me over this way. You want to come this way? Don't steal the clam. Don't steal the clam. No, I'll give you another one. I will give you another one. You don't need that one.
Alexandra tries to settle the dispute between the two.
She very definitively pulled it away from me. You are turning into a very hungry girl. Oh, she still has her fish. I forgot. I thought she'd eaten that. She's just holding it.
She can do multitasking, we already know that.
Maybe you've bonded a little bit with Pinky here, too.
Ellie has been busy with the clam for a while. She opens the shell with her powerful beak. Florian is getting everything ready for a night dive.
Diving at night is always very special. Different animals emerge from the depths, like ratfish or chimeras. Because it's pitch black around you, you really focus on what appears in the beam in front of your underwater lights. You also see different behaviors. Giant Pacific octopuses like to forage under cover of darkness, and I'm much more likely to see them out of their dens.
The marine biologist has visited the den of this female octopus many times. She has learned to accept the bright underwater lights. Today, they are not alone. Her den has attracted the curiosity of a male giant Pacific octopus. Florian hopes for an octopus rendezvous. But the male is not fully grown yet. the mating ritual of octopuses is quite unusual. After intimate courtship, the male inserts its spermatophore into the mantle cavity of the female. But this young fellow clearly gets rebuffed. Octopuses only reproduce once in their lives, so females are extremely picky, and size matters to them. This male was quite likely still too small. She will patiently wait for a much larger and more mature partner. It is the only time in the life of an octopus when these usually solitary creatures seek the company of their own species. His time may still come. The night dive was a success for Florian. Encounters like these are very rarely witnessed. Ellie has been in the aquarium for 2.5 months now. She has grown a lot since then and needs to be kept busy. Alexandra regularly conducts enrichment tests with mental challenges for Ellie.
Is that one going to go further down?
Depends on if she wants to or not, if it does sink.
Faced with tasks unlikely to occur in the wild, Ellie immediately tackles the problem with curiosity and determination. Thanks to her suction cups, her excellent eyesight, and a very capable brain, she quickly finds a solution and removes the cork to get her reward. With a combination of physical skill and intelligence. The ability to recognize problems, search for solutions, and the use of tools is reminiscent of the intelligence of highly developed mammals or some birds. A feat the rockfish can only dream of.
Yeah. Yeah, that's beginning to tickle here.
After this intellectual performance, Ellie is up for close contact with her human friends. She even seems to have a sense of humor.
Hi. What you gonna do? Hey.
What are you doing? No, you cannot come out.
Don't make me discipline you.
Now, Ellie is really testing Alexandra.
Still doing it. Look, and she's like, oh, I will come out of the tank. I know, but I don't want my hand that close to your mouth. It makes me, I know we're working on our trust issues, and I should trust you if you're gonna trust me.
Aquarist Alexandra has a lot of respect for the octopus. Her 8 legs are not only extremely powerful, she also has a sharp beak with venomous glands. For humans, a bite would be painful. For her favorite prey, crabs, it is deadly. Her hunting strategy is well planned. First, sneak up slowly. Then, a quick grab. The crab defends itself, but its claws can't get a grip into Ellie's soft body. A single bite, and she injects the debilitating neurotoxin into her victim. And she can't get enough. She has hardly dispatched the first crab when she already goes for the next one. Why else would you have 8 arms? To avoid any confusion, the larger central brain coordinates the 8 nerve clusters, small brains, located directly in the arms, which control each arm independently. Ellie demonstrates why octopuses are the ultimate crab-killing machines. Back in the wild, Florian waits patiently in front of a giant Pacific octopus den. Startled by a school of rockfish, a red rock crab walks directly into the lion's cave. All the soft-bodied monster needs to do is stretch out a single arm, scoop up the crab, and bite. The venomous cocktail takes immediate effect. The crab cemetery in front of the den is proof of the proficiency of this ultimate hunter. When prey is spotted, the central brain sends a general message to the 8 nerve centers in the arms with the command to seize it. The small brains and the tentacles mostly act autonomously. This is where the majority of the nerve cells are located. A very efficient way to coordinate 8 arms, alien to us, but tested and refined over millions of years. As another crab approaches, a thinking octopus arm extends to snare the crustacean, reeling it in for the other arms to deliver it to the deadly bite. An octopus can catch and process food at the same time, hunt and feed simultaneously. This is the ultimate form of multitasking. Sunflower sea stars are attracted to the scrap piles in front of the octopus den, a source of food for scavengers of all sorts. The octopus ejects the leftovers out of its mantle cavity after feeding, attracting prawns, quarreling over the scraps. Some crabs also don't object to feeding on the remains of other crabs. Even striped sea perches and California sea cucumbers fetch their share of the octopus bounty unimpeded. Because even this high-performance hunter eventually fills up and needs to rest. Ellie has now been enjoying skillful care in the Port Townsend Marine Science Center for 6 months. Nothing remains of her original shyness. If her mind does not constantly get challenged with new tasks, she gets bored quickly. Then, she impatiently waits for more action out in the open, attached to the glass wall. Finally, Florian arrives. Ellie can clearly distinguish different people and has learned that when the marine biologist arrives, something interesting happens. Excited, she greets him at the surface, wrapping her tentacles tenderly around his hand, each suction cup touch mimicking a little kiss. She is actually absorbing and memorizing the taste of Florian's skin.
Keep you inside the tank. How about that?
After this intimate interlude, it's time for another test of her intelligence. These are getting more complex every time.
Okay. Should we do some mega blocks or?
Sounds good to me.
We've got some pieces of fish frozen into a little bit of water, and then we've stuck it together. And one of the best aspects about it is because it's modular, we can actually use this to make a unique puzzle for her every time she receives it. This is the largest one she's gotten to date, so I'm excited to see how she likes this.
Immediately, Ellie gets down to work. Each of her arms is covered with up to 280 suction cups, well over 2,000 in total. With these, she is able to feel and taste an incredible amount of information. Every suction cup can be controlled, similar to our fingers, independently and deliberately. Ellie is capable of directing and processing the information of 2,240 of these fingers simultaneously. After just 2 minutes, she has already cracked the Mega Blocks exercise. Next test, please. A stellar summer sunset is invitation enough for Florian to embark on another night dive in Hood Canal. During this time of the year, the water is murky like pea soup, full of plankton, including the larvae of many marine critters. Florian has found an old friend foraging out in the open water. The octopus seems irritated by the circus of hundreds of tiny crustaceans attracted by the light of the underwater lamps. But the wild octopus is still happy to accept Florian's attention. In the meantime, reef fish take advantage of the buffet gathering in the front of the dive lights. The mass of excited plankton is too much for the octopus, who chooses to retreat into the next available crevice. The giant Pacific octopus can squeeze through the narrowest of gaps, as long as the only hard part, the beak, can fit through. Copper rockfish now take full advantage of the bounty in front of the underwater lights. Florian is on the road to Seattle, the region's lively and busy metropolis. On the other side of the bay, facing the imposing skyline and the huge harbor, as well as the Space Needle. He is headed for a unique dive site. The Old Harbor Basin offers plenty of good hiding places. This site has a reputation for its octopuses, and Florian is revisiting a site where he last saw a fully grown female. The beady strands hanging between her tentacles are no accident. This female has started the last phase of her short life. She has mated some months ago and kept a spermatophore until the time was right to fertilize her eggs. Then, she attached well over 100,000 eggs to the ceiling of her den. Now she constantly sweeps her arms through the strands, keeping them clean and well protected from predators. With her jet, the exhaling siphon protruding from her mantle, she constantly ejects fresh, oxygen-rich water onto the eggs. Not even a crab walking straight into what normally would be a certain death will distract her now. This female octopus will now remain in her den without feeding until the larvae hatch 6 to 8 months later. Then this nursery will become her last resting place. For those who have only witnessed Puget Sound from above the surface, it is difficult to comprehend what fascinating hidden world lies beneath this massive fjord system. Stretching 100 miles from north to south. And dropping to 930 feet of depth. It was here where Eleonora was caught 10 months ago. In the meantime, she has grown to an impressive size in the Port Townsend Marine Science Center. For a change, the menu today consists of shrimps. And Ellie displays a further feature of her fluid body and a hunting technique which even the marine biologist has never witnessed.
She just does it all the time now, kind of like a play behavior.
Between her arms, Ellie has fine, usually retracted and well-hidden folds of skin. If needed, she can extend this skirt-like cuticle into an impressive web, leaving the shrimp little room to escape. This technique is also effective for hunting crabs. A careful approach and Ellie unfolds her octopus skirt again. With this feature, Ellie can also include the glass of the tank into her hunting strategy. The skin web is unleashed by tiny muscles in the skin folds of the arms. Just like the skin lobes, which octopuses use to obscure their shape and to mimic their surroundings, effectively camouflaging themselves. The horn-like lobes above the eyes are a clear sign of excitement. It becomes clear to Florian that the tank is getting too small for the quickly growing giant Pacific octopus. The marine biologist has been able to build close relationships to other octopuses living in the Salish Sea.
I've spent a lot of time underwater with some individual octopuses out in the Sound, and I got to know some of them quite well. They really have their own personalities, and I find it easy to connect with them, despite them being so very different from us. That is exactly what I find so fascinating about them.
This fascination appears to be mutual, as is the curiosity. The octopus reaches out to Florian and touches him, as if it were a greeting ceremony. Today, the equipment seems to be of particular interest. Then, the octopus even emerges from the den. However, the marine biologist needs to be very careful during encounters like this. While giant Pacific octopuses aren't known to attack humans, they could pull the mask off his face or snag the breathing hoses. Then, the octopus retreats back into the den and starts with that strange grooming procedure the biologist had only ever witnessed with Ellie in the aquarium. In a ball of rotating arms, the octopus rubs the suction cups against each other, thereby removing the old cartilaginous discs, which are replaced with new and larger ones. This grooming method is part of the growth cycle and needs to be performed. The discs do not grow with the animal. Florian has only seen Ellie perform this ritual before. Like a grand finale, the octopus evicts the spent discs with a powerful jet from the siphon. Displaying this grooming behavior right in front of the biologist is certainly a sign of trust from this usually shy creature. Back in the Marine Science Center, Ellie's return to the ocean is fast approaching. 11 months ago, she was discovered in a little bottle. Now, a big bucket serves as her temporary home.
Our goal is to keep her as relaxed as possible and to also keep her submerged in the water the whole time.
Ellie is relaxed and has no objection to being handled. The transfer into the transport net goes smoothly. Alexandra is anxious to direct a successful release.
Everything has gone to plan so far, so I'm kind of waiting for the penny to drop.
The time has come. Florian will take Ellie back into the ocean.
Eleanor, in the ocean.
Alexandra passes the release net with the octopus to the diver. A final look. And they both disappear into the depths. Florian has already located an ideal den for Ellie. A hollow tree trunk used by other octopuses before. Ellie readily leaves the net. Once more, she cuddles with Florian. Then, as if she'd never lived anywhere else, she moves into her new home. With her tentacles spanning 10 feet, she is not yet fully grown, but she is now big enough to be safe from many predators. She has become quite a predator in her own right. There is an abundance of prey here. Once more, Ellie shows what she has learned. Florian hopes she will settle into her new surroundings well. Seattle is well known for its vibrant nightlife, symbolically portraying humans on a very special species, quite like solitary giant Pacific octopuses. Yet there is pulsating life also thriving below the surface of the Sound. For 7 months, the female octopus has been relentlessly guarding and grooming her developing brood. Soon, tens of thousands of larvae will hatch. With a jet of seawater, the mother blows the first of the young from the egg capsules and out of the den. They are hardly bigger than a grain of rice, but already equipped with tiny tentacles, drifting away with the tidal current. Entire batches of octopus larvae drift out into the ocean, joining the pool of plankton. Few of them will survive. After hatching, they are immediately on their own, not profiting from the intelligence and memories of their mother. With the last larvae disappearing in the murky water, their mother dies of exhaustion.
It does get under your skin to experience how a female octopus devotes the rest of her life towards her brood. They only get to be 4 years of age, 5 at most. To see such an intelligent animal with all its memories and experience perish without being able to communicate this to its offspring is really a strange concept to me.
It's been a few days since Ellie's return to the ocean. Florian is on a mission to find out how she has settled down. A family of river otters accompanies him on the way down.
It's been a week now, and Ellie is still in her new home. I am delighted to see her again. She looks great and satisfied and clearly dined well out here.
Florian is relieved and happy. Sadly, this was the final meeting between them. When Florian returned the next time, the tree trunk was empty. Typical for giant Pacific octopuses, Ellie had moved on, deeper into the fjord, searching for her favorite food.
Each time I see giant Pacific octopuses now, I have to think of Ellie. How we connected, how gentle she was. To me, octopuses are aliens from a different world. It is as if evolution conducted 2 very separate experiments with intelligent life. One leading to birds, mammals, and us humans, the other to this multi-talented, soft-bodied critter with 8 arms. Which leads me to a strange idea. What if octopuses lived to 100 years of age? Would they then dominate life in the ocean? Bye.